Uh-oh.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hi, Sonia. Hi, Hemdell, Smara, Sunnyside. Have you guys been hearing me or was I talking to myself? I must have been talking to myself. I said, I know many people probably aren't going to come in because I know Molly Golightly is live, but I wanted to go live about what I think is an issue going on around here, and I'm entitled to that. So
Absolutely.
I'm going to do that, but I almost didn't make it live today. My life has gone crazy in the last 24 hours. A lot of changes, but good changes. So I haven't caught a lot. I know yesterday was absolutely crazy on YouTube, but I was extremely busy. So that's why Samara's up here because she was able to fill me in on yesterday. It seemed like every time she turned around, somebody else was going live. So,
Hmm. Yeah, it'll
yes.
be quiet, Sonia.
Yes.
We're
No,
not
this is
gonna.
a quiet live. I think everybody needs a quiet live. I think people are tired of hearing the Diane, Diane, Diane. I know I am. I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Do do I think that, uh she done stuff wrong in that I'm proud that people brought it to light? I am. I just feel like
Hey,
now,
Denise.
hey Denise, I just think now in my opinion, it's moved away from the real issue at hand, which was the
Hmm.
scamming of children, and I just think it's really moved away from that. And I know Samara wanted to talk about some stuff, but my biggest thing is people contacting people. People that aren't even on YouTube. People that have no idea what's going on and you're
Yeah.
contacting them. People looking up people's homes and putting them up on their channels like it's nothing. People have
Yeah.
I just can't handle the real life stuff. Hi, Irish Marie. I am Bob. Okay. Yes, I do want receipts, but I don't think the whole finding where Diane lives, contacting people that live in her rental place, people that she had a lawsuit back with in 2017. Like, I just think it's a lot. I don't agree with the real life stuff. I just don't. Let St. Jude do their job. Let them. If you're contacted the attorney involved and the attorney wants something from you, then just quietly do what he wants from you. That's it. Let them
Mhm.
do their job. I don't I I I don't know. So what's your thoughts, Samara?
I think that Diane did enough shady stuff alone
Mhm.
without you having to dig into her real life to find out more stuff.
Right.
But I understand, I get the part where people are like, but she's a scammer, and I think we should out a scammer, and people should know what she looks like so that they're warned and the community is warned. Like, I think there's a fine line, and it's been crossed.
Life Rewinded
I think.
says people are misunderstanding. I'm not defending Diane or taking away from the principal, which is St. Jude and the kids. But an investigation is happening. That's that. Absolute. I agree. Let
Yeah,
St.
we
Jude do
agree
their
with
job.
you.
And
Right.
I mean, really,
I
what are
agree
you
with you.
guys gonna do? We can't force Diane to cam up. That is the one thing, Diane, and I'm not sticking up for Diane, but that's one thing we all have control of,
Mm-mm.
right? We all have that control to either push that camera on or push that camera off. I don't think by getting into her real life, do you honestly think that's going to make her cam up? I don't. I I just don't. If you believe she's a scammer
I
and you believe she's dangerous, then everybody unsub her. Everybody stop watching her. I don't know, but I just don't think
yes.
all this information is for all of our eyes and ears. It's not my business. I don't need to know everything about
Right.
Diane. I just don't. I need to know what she
Yes,
does on
Sunny.
YouTube. What? What was that? Okay. Oh, okay. You're Bob. You can have that title. Yes, she can. Dino, pull it together, please.
And Sonia is Coco. She used to go
Okay.
by Patches.
And we still need boundaries around here. Lack of them brought us into this in the first place. Totally agree. Hold on. I'll be right
Do you
back.
hear that, dog? Okay. But this real life makes no mean who she lives married to. There are people bring the tenants, the real life things to attention. It's doxing and it's criminal. And I tried to be cordial. I know, I understand. I see like comments that you're making Life Rewind it, and I do understand that you're not siding with Diane and defending her. But yeah, there is a fine line, and it definitely got crossed.
It does,
Indeed.
because what does the tenants, what does the girl with the lawsuit from 2000 and what, 17, 16, have to do with Diane right now on YouTube? So why do
Mhm.
people need to contact these people? Why? What does that show that Diane's a scammer? How does that show Diane's not really Diane? These people don't even communicate with Diane.
Right.
So why? What
Absolutely
you went real life, you contacted these people, and what did you get from it? Nothing. Other than invading their privacy. That's what I saw. They didn't get any good dirt or anything good. They got invading people's privacy. I don't know. And I know people are going to disagree with me. And I am by no means sticking up for Diane. And people are not going to like it and think that it's justified. I don't think looking up anybody is justified. I just don't. Hey, J Money.
No, I don't agree with it.
I'll
Hey,
just go ahead
Heimdall,
and
read
put
what he said.
myself out. Yeah, and put myself out. I was born and raised in West Philadelphia. I was playing on the playground and get in a fight, so my mom would move me to my uncle's house. All
To
right,
my
now
uncle's
go.
house.
Right? I mean, come on. Do you guys need? Why do people need to
West
know our whole
Philly.
lives? I don't know. And then these
We know
people,
what she did was shady, crappy.
I think, trying to prove
I
that
think
she
trying to prove
doesn't
that she
live
doesn't.
there, so people will stop stalking that house. Right. And that's probably why.
Okay, I get it,
But why do they need to know where she? I don't get it. What does
wait.
where Diane resides have to do with her scamming from St. Jude? Whether she lives in Florida, whether she lives in New York, whether she lives in Pennsylvania, what does it matter? What does that, where she resides, where she pays her bills, where she lays her head at night, have to do with her on YouTube scamming for St. Jude?
Money. I think there was, you could have, or let's just say whoever, well, we know who it was that contacted the tenants. We didn't have to hear about that on a lot.
Nope. All
I
they had
don't
to
think we should
say
have
is,
known
hey,
that.
we contacted them and Diane doesn't live there. Why do we have to hear why does the whole phone ring? Because that's the thing. Because nobody would believe I called. Well, it's just never ending. And I think YouTube, sorry, YouTube, but I think YouTube's a lot to blame for all this shit, to be honest. I just do.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I don't
YouTube.
think Diane is innocent in any way, shape, or
No,
form because a
no.
lot of things that they did on their lives were pretty shady and crappy, and they dragged a lot of people. So now it's like, I don't like to use the word karma, but what goes around comes around, and that it's kind of what's coming back. But now what's happening, I don't agree with that at all. It's making everybody who's trying to do the right thing about St. Jude look really bad.
Hey, Mandy.
Hola.
Hola. They are taking away
Hey,
from the actual cause and principle, all
hey,
for exposing a scammer that takes from St. Jude. I totally agree. Life Rewinded. Hey, Dog Mom. I do. I
hi,
just think
Dogma.
this is a it's turned into something that I don't want no part of, to be honest.
I
At
agree
first, I
with
was
that.
At first, I was all about it. Okay, it's the children. She's
Go
taking
ahead.
from them. She's taking from people on YouTube. I'm all for that. But now it's turned into something I am like, whoop, backing all the way off. Mm-mm.
Well, the
What do
one
you
thing
think,
that I want to
Mandy?
say is when Diane did a live with Doodle and Harley Yaya, they had put together like a PowerPoint, like PDF presentation, and they were doxing someone that wasn't even Jasmina. And so they said, well, look, Diane had forwarded some emails from Jasmina to Doodle, and Harley Harley had sent one to Diane, and she forwarded it or something. But anyways, so they were like, oh, we've got this IP address, and it's from Florida, right? Well, duh. If Diane forwards you an email and you look at the email header for the IP address, the IP address is gonna be from Diane's location. All right, so we can couple that together because that was done publicly. And then you take Jules, who uncovered the address of the Jeffree Star palette that she had won back in 2019 or whatever, which was also from Florida. You can point those two things out. And then that could be your proof that Diane doesn't live at that address instead of calling the tenants, right?
Right. I think there is. So basically, what Mandy's saying, there's enough evidence that is public on YouTube for you to figure out where Diane lives and who Diane is without digging
Not
in
even
and
so,
calling tenants, right?
well, what I'm trying to say is, so she may not live in Florida, okay? I don't know where she lives,
I
but
don't
we do
either.
know, we do know that Diane has said herself several times, keep doxing me. That's not even where I live. That's our rental house. That's mine and Bob's rental house. Okay, so then you take the IP thing, you take that Jules was sent not from Jeffree Star, so it was sent to someone from Jeffree Star, and then that someone sent it to Jules, right? And that address was from Florida. So you can take those two things right there and you can say, look, we're not going to uncover this. We're not going to show it to y'all, but let's go back and remember Diane forwarded an email to Doodle for Doodle to look up an IP address, and that IP address came back to Florida. That's how they were trying to say Jasmina lived in Florida. But Diane forwarded it, so it would be her IP address attached to it. That's enough proof right there to tell people, stop, don't even bother with that address that when you look Diane up, because it's not hers. And we have the
Right.
proof from her putting her own public IP address up there, claiming it was Jasmina's. Because once I pointed that out, Diane took that live and put it on private immediately.
Right. So Dr. Mini Syrup says the only people who can take any legal action know who Diane is, St. Jude. So yeah, St. Jude is the only one that can actually take legal action. I think the people that donated, which I don't see anybody doing, they could do a small claims thing, right? Wouldn't they be able to if they wanted to? About the money they donated. It would be tough, though.
No, because listen, I was very honest about this. When I contacted St. Jude on the 27th of July, and then I did live the next day, I said, I have an email address, but I'm not going to put it out publicly because I don't want her getting harassed. But she did give me permission to share it with anyone who wants to send receipts, screenshots, screen recordings, timestamps, links, whatever to her, right? Or I would just do it myself. Just hit me up in my DMs, right? And it was said that I was gut punching someone for all their, hard work on this. Now we fast forward and Brian puts out a recorded call with the St. Jude attorney saying exactly that. Have one point of contact for all these people on YouTube, and the next contact contacts me with everything.
Right.
I did that a month before. Okay, and I was just trying to help out so that this didn't get so ugly.
Right. And Leah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Leah says, hello,
Yeah,
Jenna,
that's what
in
we're
chat.
saying.
Why is it anyone's business where anyone lives? No disrespect ever trying to understand. That's what we're saying. We don't understand where Diane lives has to do with her scamming St. Jude. Why does everybody need to know that? because they think because
Hey, Jennifer Lynn,
Diane's
hey,
not Diane. But like I said, you're not going to force her to cam up. I mean, I don't know. It just, I don't think
Yeah,
you can force anybody.
no, you're not going to. And
Mhm.
like,
Does
you
Jennifer
contact
Lynn,
somebody. What?
Hey, Jennifer,
Hey, Jennifer Lynn.
go
You
ahead.
you
contact
want to come
somebody
up?
from an old, and look, that lawsuit was from prior, I think it was prior to 2010, to be honest. And they're not supposed to contact each other. Like, even though Diane lost that lawsuit, she was able to make them pull down the video, the thong video, right? But these people aren't supposed to be contacting each other. So now you got
Nope.
people from YouTube reaching out to somebody who hasn't talked to Diane in 7, 8, 9 years, you know?
Yep.
And then contacting the tenants, like, okay, cool, that's juicy. So Diane and this Bob guy aren't even married. Okay, but what does that matter? I mean, does nobody remember the hell that I went through when
I
Honey Boner
agree.
was running around digging into my life every single corner that she could, contacting people in Facebook groups that didn't even know me? It was a living hell. It was a nightmare.
Right.
So
It
that's
is.
why I can't get on board with this.
Does
Molly
Jennifer
streamed
Lynn want to
Jennifer
come
Lynn.
up?
I guess Molly streamed
Huh?
her and said something about her. Doris,
No, I
Dory
think
just
I've had
said,
enough for today so far. Oh, wait,
Leah.
I'm gonna hop down only because I gotta take the dogs out real quick, and I'll be back up.
Okay.
But I'll be in
Leah
the
says,
chat.
but my
But
point
I'll be back.
is, you're
Okay.
saying information has been put out to where she might be or not be. Did I misunderstand? If I did, not from us, from other people. And that's what we're trying to say. I just think everybody has lost sight about it being a St. Jude scam. Now I think it's just gone a totally different direction. I think it's going to get just like it was before. It's going to get dangerous. Somebody's going to get hurt. There's too many hands, too many people trying to be private detectives, and they're, I don't know, digging into things that I just don't feel they should be. It's just not okay in my eyes. It's just not. People have children, people have pets, people have their home. They have their right to their privacy. Just because they're on
Right.
YouTube doesn't mean they have every right to look into everything they want to. You just, no boundaries is dangerous. It is.
It is. And the other thing that I want to say too is all these, all this time that's been spent looking at the wrong people could have been time best used and best utilized to go to all of Diane's public videos, take screenshots of the super chats, you know, write down little timestamps, grab a link for it, tally up all the super chats that were supposed to go to St. Jude, put them on a Word document or something, or in your notes or whatever. And then once you've gone through all of them, then you send that over to the St. Jude attorney, because the emails that you send, they're going to have to look at them. And who's paying St. Jude? Donations. That includes their legal department.
Right.
So
Yep.
in the end, you're going to have to look at, if nobody can get an exact total from at least what's public right now to report over to St. Jude. So far, they got 20 lives from me with screenshots tallied together, everything nice, neat little package. Okay. And so far, because Diane's already donated, even though she did it afterwards, you're looking at, so far, just with the 20 lives that I tallied up so far, because I haven't worked myself anywhere else because I'm just frustrated with this whole mess. There's
Yeah.
$1,000 unaccounted for right now. Like, that's how St. Jude is looking at, probably looking at it right now. It's okay. So there's $1,000 unaccounted for. Is this worth our time with an attorney to pursue? And then you've got a bunch of people from YouTube calling and saying, watch this channel, watch that channel. They come here and they look at this circus show. Do you think they're going to want to get involved in it? Because there is
Exactly.
criminal things going on. There
Yep.
is. It's called cyber stalking.
Yep. Hey, hang in with
used
Mr. J.
People
Go
used
ahead.
to make fun of me because I was saying that I was being cyber stalked. It's true. when people are reaching in, like trying to find dirt on you, so they're contacting Facebook group admins and their group members that don't even know you. That is cyber stalking.
Absolutely. And like everybody in chat is saying, because of all this real life, your St. Jude isn't going to want to, tap into this. Like people are saying, I think these people have ruined any case they might have, done. In all fairness, isn't that an attorney or an investigator's job to do all the digging if you feel a crime has been committed? I feel any investigation has been tainted with all this real life stuff. I mean, I don't think they're going, they're only going to make it worse where
Sonia.
nothing's going to come of it, I think.
Can you read Sonia's comment?
Where?
Put the search engines down. This is your
down.
captain calling. Actually, I feel like this stream is doing good for the community, because if there's people that want to help, guess what, you guys? Any one of y'all that don't want to listen to this and you say that this live or that live is feeding the narc supply, then go over to Diane's, and start going through the lives and tallying them up and helping out, because there's a lot of lives that are up, guys. There's a lot.
Yep.
It's not
And
a
nobody needs to
one-person
know.
job.
And you don't have to go live and say, hey, I did this and I did that and I did this, so you can get that pat on your back. It shouldn't be about that. It should be doing it for the children without this big, hey, I'm the one that found this, pat me on the back. Oh, I'm the one that found that, pat me on the back. Like,
Right.
no.
And once St. Jude secures a case and decides what they're going to do with it, whether it's civil or criminal, you're going to know about it, right? So then after that, then go celebrate. Celebrate because you watched everybody support a scammer even more, and then people would feel even more stupid, and then rag it out, then turn it into drama. Fine, whatever.
And this is the other part, is they're still not saying with 100% that Diane's a scammer. They're still not saying that, because they keep saying, Diane, show your proof and we'll say sorry. But is sorry really going to work?
Wendy's already
it
proved
comes
that
out
she wasn't doing what she said she was going to do with the money.
Right.
So, I mean,
yeah, but they
what does
still
her face have to do with it?
I don't know. I don't know what her face, where she lives, who she's married to. I don't know what that has to do. Let's sit back and let the karma take the wheel. Absolutely, Sonny. And that's what we've all been saying. I know Mandy has said it. Tracy has said it. I have said it. Okay, guys, you guys have done your work. Awesome job. Okay, you brought something to light that should have been brought to light. Now just sit back.
Or spend your free time helping out the St. Jude legal department.
Right.
By doing what they asked Brian that they wanted. Put it all into a package. If people aren't sending you receipts, get the screenshots, timestamps, screen recordings, whatever. That's what I said from the jump.
Yep.
If people would have done that, if that would have already been done, and it turned into just now laughing at her, okay, cool. But the whole month has gone by where each 2, 3, 4 hour live multiple times a day on different channels that have been done. So much more could have been done to help the situation, to help the actual cause. Right. But I think it is getting lost. Like, people are angry because they thought, they were, they had the wool pulled over their eyes. They thought that Diane was the moral compass of this community. I mean, hell, she made the rules for every single one of us, except if you were an enemy, you had to abide by them. But if you were on her side, you didn't have to.
And I don't think anybody should be made fun of or feel stupid for supporting her. I don't, if you want to support her, that's your choice. You're a grown adult, Do I think people need to attack somebody for supporting her? They have the facts just as much as we do. If they still choose to support her, that's their choice. They just can't cry if something happens, but they shouldn't have to be picked on. I mean, come on. If we're not talking about Diane,
I meant after
I'm reading the chat.
An established case, after there was an established case. If you want to pick on people for still supporting her at that point, be my guest. There's an established case. No reason to go real life. St. Jude knows who she is, yada, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. then you can do the tomato throwing and the drama and make it like, you're a loser, you're supporting a scammer. Get out of my chat. Like, okay,
Mhm.
well, then I wouldn't feel bad
Nope.
at all.
Nope.
I'd be like, you're dumb because there's a case. Like, you're still supporting it. But right now,
Right.
there's not. And most of us here, at least, sorry to those of you that aren't, most of us here are Americans. And we have
Mhm.
certain rights for being Americans. And one of those is innocent until proven guilty, the right to face your accusers, a fair and speedy trial, and the right to not be harassed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And she shouldn't have to be harassed. I'm not saying that I'm not trying to stick up for her in any means, but I just think this has gone too I just think it's gone too far. And everybody's saying, and God forbid you have an opinion around here. Well, we know how that goes because the last time I was live, I wanted to do something other than talk about Diane. And look at where that got us. It's like
Yeah.
people are trying to dictate what you go live about, too, and what your opinion should and should not be. And that's
Mhm.
ridiculous, too. For people to come jumping into your life and being like, this isn't what's important. This isn't what's important. Who are you to say what's important or what's not in how I see it, how
Yeah.
I want to run my channel.
And the only thing that I think that anybody should say is if you want to help, if you want to stand behind the actual cause of, okay, so your money didn't go where it was supposed to, instead of bitching about it, take an action, which means go to her live videos that are up and do the work. Put in some work instead of just sitting around bitching about it.
Right.
What is that? That
Because
does
that's all that's
nothing.
left, right? Is just collecting. There's
Yeah.
nothing more to find. There's no more anything other than videos of Diane proving that she says 100% of the proceeds gone to her. That there's screenshots of people donating straight to the kids, But so there's nothing more that you're going to dig or find. And that's what I'm saying. It's moved from the scam of St. Jude to now we need to know who Diane is and we need to know who Diane's married to. No, we don't.
Yeah, and
So
St.
you
Jude
want to,
hasn't even determined if she's scammed or not. Like,
right,
we've totally
right.
skipped that step.
Totally skip that step. Yeah, they already have her guilty as charged and,
Well, to be fair, I do think she is guilty as charged, but St. Jude is also
I
lacking
do too.
the facts and
Right,
the evidence.
right.
That's why
I
I'm saying
believe, right,
people
just
that
like
want to get
you.
involved, do that. Do that.
Right.
Get involved the right way, do it the right way, and then, be quiet about it until St. Jude makes a move.
Right.
And then because they can see what she sent, then they can get their legal team possibly to do subpoenas from YouTube, et cetera, or Google AdSense, whatever. And then
I wanted to go ahead.
then for sure. But we do know for a fact that she said, thank you for that $20 donation for the kids. Donation.
Well,
We
that's
know
a new
that's
thing
what she was
going
collecting
on.
them
People
for.
monetizing and people getting super chats and people are having a fit about that. Like I don't know. It just seems like every time you turn around there's a problem and you're doing something wrong, no matter what. If you ain't doing what they want you to do, it's wrong. How is that? It's not wrong.
I did want to ask Life Rewinded when she said if you don't speak what they want, they attack just like they did to me. Do you mean like Diane's side or like Molly's side or both?
And Life Rewinded just wrote, what about the 100% of merch purchases that went directly to St. Jude? So you
We're not
can't
talking about that.
say
We're talking about Super
nothing
Chat.
was given to the fact. You're right. Okay. We all know that. We all know that her merch was 100%. Well, it is just the super chat. Yeah, she's given money, but
we're talking about the super chats. We're not talking about Teespring. When you set up an account there, because remember how all y'all made fun of me for setting up my Bitch and Bell merch? The only reason why I did that was to know for myself if Diane truly could set up a store and sell merch, and it went to St. Jude. Because guess what? I set up my own store, and guess what? My proceeds went to St. Jude through Teespring.
Right.
And I had to do that myself. I had to set it up. Yes, I did advertise it there for a very short little window of time because I wanted to see how that actually worked. And guess what? I didn't get any of that stuff. I got a statement at the end of the year about where that money went.
Mhm.
That was it.
So
And that's not
right.
the issue. The issue is
There-
the super chat.
It is the super chats. It's telling people that this is going to the children and people feeling like they want to donate because they felt that it was going to the children and come to find out it wasn't. That's the problem.
Yeah, like let's take the merch out of the equation. It's the super chats that everyone's wondering, did they make it? Did they not? Well, now we know because Wendy already went ahead and let the cat out of the bag. She said they didn't. So that's a fact, right? So we've got those facts now. People gave money. She said, "Thank you for your donation to St. Jude." When she received the super chat and interrupted anybody that was talking to say that. All right, so we've got that fact there. We've got the fact that Wendy said it didn't go there because it went to having that NARC guy up on the panel, helping someone set up a bank account, the gifts or whatever, the drawings, yada, 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 et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But some of it did go to St. Jude, right? So
Yeah.
some of it, just not all of it.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
do
that's
wanna say
supposed
this,
to be
and
That's what the
okay.
issue is.
Right. And that's supposed to be okay because, she has to run her channel or whatever. Then why didn't you say that in the beginning? Why didn't you say that in the beginning? Why do you wait until you were caught to say, hey, you went to my channel, no biggie?
I
And-
think what's hurting Diane is her arrogance. So coming
Yes.
yesterday,
For sure.
Oh, for sure.
She went from being a nobody to poaching out Molly Golightly, right? Because she saw that Molly Golightly was really popular during the Chris Watts stuff, and she had so many people in her chat. She was literally trying to poach Molly Golightly to get her on her panel. I remember it very clearly. And then she went to doing resolution nights for people that were arguing. All right. And then from there, she became the moral authority and started wearing a crown in the community like she was the queen, and we were all little stupid peasants. And now she lost that. She lost that popularity, I guess you could say. And so, yeah, she's got an arrogance about her because one day it was like overnight. One day everybody thought the world of her, and the next day everybody, lots of people couldn't stand her. So, yeah, she's arrogant about it, but that's on her.
Hey, Samantha.
What about, I'm confused, Life Rewinded, what you mean about Oni. She said, but it don't take away from super chats. I know that. I just pointing it out. Oni has been given is all.
I think she meant money has been given us all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because she said money down below. I see it.
Don't say the name again. That'll be 3 times in a row.
Yes, do not give me PTSD on this panel. I've been trying to do good and moving forward and doing right things instead of doing wrong things. No matter, listen, these are people that made my life a living hell on YouTube.
What if the actual family that lives in Diane's pretend home would have gotten swatted?
They wouldn't have.
Yeah,
Nobody
wouldn't have. Nobody, right. It hasn't happened yet or anything, but I just don't feel like it's our job to give anybody heads up, and they wouldn't have got swatted if nobody was looking into that. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I just don't get.
Jenna, that's exactly how I felt when stuff was happening to me. If people weren't looking me up and passing my information around from person to person to person, I never would have gotten swatted.
Right. That's just how I feel. That's just the way I see it. And I know people aren't going to agree. And that's fine. You're telling me no one had looked into it. Many people have, but people we don't even know. But they never got swatted. And we never found out about it. So even if they looked into it, they kept it hush hush. Now it's getting passed here, there, and everywhere. That
right
makes
now
it
that they
unsafe.
hold on, wait a second. let me interrupt real quick. Now that they called and talked to the tenants, they were putting all this fear into the tenants, and the tenants straight told them, we haven't had anybody, doing anything to us at this address. So what if,
What do you think people are going to do now? Because now they know.
This is something my aunt used to say. What if I had a dick, I'd be your
nothing's
uncle?
happened.
Like it doesn't make sense. What if? Don't take away from what the cause is supposed to be. Having someone.
Nobody is ever going to convince me that looking into somebody is okay. Nobody. And I love Pixie, and I'm not saying that's what she's trying to do. I just don't think looking into anybody and sharing it and having people be recorded and all that, I think it's wrong. I just do. I think it's wrong. I just do.
What's wrong with people saying, take all this energy you have and expend it doing something that will actually help the cause, like the attorney that Brian St. John recorded and put out for all to hear. They need this, they need that. They're not going to use money. They get paid with donations, guys. He even said that to Brian. So what's wrong with somebody standing up and saying, all right, enough's enough? Demand the better thing, the right thing out of people, which is get
because that's how you're going to get her. You're not going to get her by looking her up and seeing where she lives. What is that going to get you? Anybody. Even, okay, let's just say Diane's not Diane. Okay? Just say it. Let's just say Diane's not Diane. But
what are we going to do? A citizen's arrest?
What are we going to do?
I mean,
she can still fire up alive and still be Diane if she wants to. Yeah, so people are going to know, but people still support people. I don't think that you're going to get anywhere by looking into her real life. I just don't. If you want to get her, then do it by what that lawyer said. Get them the stuff they need. And people are going
to move along faster. And then you'll get to see the fruits of your labors. She'll have to pay a negative consequence for her actions. And then boom, there you have it. And then guess what? If she ends up getting arrested or getting dragged into a court, everyone's going to see her face in real time.
Right. Because, I mean, really, think about it.
I don't want Diane to look like the victim here.
That's really, what happened. If we prove...
She's not a victim. It's the innocent people that are a victim because people want to find out who she is and be the first to go live with breaking news.
Oh, I know you don't, Pixie. Pixie don't agree with going real life on anyone. No, she doesn't.
Come up?
She can if she wants. I can put anybody wants to come up. I can put the link in. But I don't know. I don't know what we're going to prove, what we're going to solve, and what that's going to do for Diane if we find out Diane's not Diane. And what if we find out Diane is Diane? Then we disrupted everybody's life for what?
Right. Like here at this point, the only people that have put those tenants in any kind of harm or any kind of paranoia or fear of their life is the people that are supposedly on the good side. Let's look at it that way. That's the realistic way. Nobody has bothered those people except the people on the good side. Now, how does that look?
Mm-hmm. I know, but I do understand people wanting to expose Diane for who she is, and that's
absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, like I'm saying, I'm not saying Diane's a victim in no means. Do not take what I'm saying.
Put all the right work into it. Like once you know that St. Jude has everything that they need to hammer her ass, wait for them to put that stuff together. And then once you know that they've got that, then you can go and you can brag about it. You can be the first person that goes live with the breaking news that St. Jude is taking action. It has been confirmed. Here's this, here's that. You know, maybe the police get involved. Maybe there's a criminal. And then guess what? When it turns criminal and she gets indicted, you're going to have a freaking real photo of her face. And you could be the first person that live streams that. Now, how much better would that would be?
And see, here is something that brings it all around. I have seen Bombshell get swatted, 3 times this week already? Well, not even swatted, welfare check, whatever. I don't know. everybody has different lingos for swatting or welfare check.
Welfare checks
Either
can
way,
turn into a SWAT because
right.
when
But
somebody
either
shows
way,
up to your house thinking that you're mentally unstable or something, or that you've got a gun or whatever, and you make the wrong move with a cop that's nervous, given the climate of look at the political atmosphere and everything that happened with the riots and stuff. Police are on edge.
But this is my point. The cops have come to Bombshell's house 3 times this week. Bombshell is sitting there saying how it's not fair, it's not right, people need to stop going for my real life. But then you read Life Rewinded's thing, and people like Bombshell are threatening her mods, members, and subs that she will start going from that for them unless Diane shows receipts. So how can you sit there? This is my question to everybody. How can you sit there, and I used to say this a lot to Brian, how can you sit there and say that somebody dug into your real life and it's wrong, but then you turn around and do it to them because they did it to you? So how are you not wrong? I think if you're going to do it back to them, it null and voids that you can complain about you. That's how I feel. I don't do that. Oh, you did it to me, so I'm going to do it to you. Oh, you did it to my friends, so I'm going to do it to your friends. No. It doesn't make anybody any better. If that's your retaliation, you're not no better than the person that called on you. That's how I feel.
And I learned that the hard way. That's the only reason why I feel like I can talk about this. I've done dumb stuff that's against my own baseline morals and values and beliefs. Like, y'all have seen it. Every single one of you have seen it. I don't agree with it because it made me crazy when it was happening to me.
Remy said, I was in her stream last night. She couldn't call on herself. No, you can't. If anybody watches MFW, you can tell right away. If you are on live and you are StreamYarding through your phone, if you get a phone call or answer a phone call, the little spinny thing stops, and it basically pauses your video until you're off the phone, and then you can play.
Death.
Yes, the wheel of there you go. So if she is recording from her phone, there's no way she could have called from that phone. I don't know if she has other devices or not, but I know she could
right
not.
in front of it the whole time.
Right.
So you'd see it.
You would see it. There's no way Bombshell called on herself.
No.
So I don't know why everybody's running. Right? Why everybody's running with that?
And yes, there is a way that people can clone your IP address and spoof your number, because that also happened to me when I had a literal SWAT team staged right down the block, waiting on the police to gather their stuff. They did a reverse ping and all that stuff. Yes, that can happen. Yes, people can do that to you.
Yes. And I mean, StreamYards or the YouTube app, happens to no matter what you're on. If you're on the YouTube app and you try to make a phone call, the ring of death comes. If you're on StreamYards, that's what I meant, Remy, is that it doesn't matter which one.
Let's not forget when Molly Golightly was low budget production and she would do all this from her phone. Remember Purple Rain? Because every time somebody called her, it would kick her off her live, and it would be the purple rain screen of death.
I remember that. Smart. I was just hoping this would settle down and let St. Jude do their investigation. That's what we all thought, but we should know better. Not with this community. I'm sorry. And I feel like we talk to a wall a majority of the time. And
we just don't talk at all, because if we talk, and it's like, and it's
always the same people involved. Always. No matter what goes on this community, you can 90% of the time know who's going to be involved in it, because it's always the same people.
I mean, I understand that this is a pretty big issue, but just like having to have every single live revolve around this issue, it's not reasonable, because there are other things that go on that people want to talk about that aren't right, that if they're ignored, they get swept under the rug, and then you're 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months down the road and people want to bring it up again. Well, guess what? It's too late. Too much time has passed. Nobody gives a crap anymore. So then therein lies another problem where you're, brushing other behaviors under the rug and allowing those to happen, enabling those to happen. And then, you can't gripe about it later on
Right.
when it happens
Just
to you.
hmm just like when we used to say we were tired of hearing Laura's name. Every live, everywhere you went, Laura, 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 even Mandy Bell at that time back in the day. Mandy, 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 hello Starlight, hello Starlight. And now it's Diane's turn. But I just feel like you're doing more damage than anything. You're not helping St. Jude in any way find out if she scammed or not by doing all these lives. Because if you can sit on a live for 8 hours repeating yourself over and over with the same stuff that everybody knows because 10 other people just had a live about it, you could be spending that time giving that lawyer what he needs to end this, to finally say, okay, she did scam, or okay, we're not seeing a scam here.
I mean, we've heard Diane say many, many times when it's been brought up. That was my favorite thing to use against her whenever they were doing all their real life bull crap on me, making up all kinds of garbage about me to put fear into people so they would look me up and harass my family and other people that don't even know me. Like, geez, people, the real life stuff can't happen. But I used to use it against her all the time. I'd call her a crypt keeper, tell her that she was hiding the St. Jude donos in her dusty, crusty crypt, and then she'd lose her mind. I don't have to show receipts, Mandy Bell. So we already know she doesn't want to show receipts. So you're not going to get an answer out of her. But guess who can figure out if she's scamming? St. Jude.
Yeah.
Magical
Exactly.
thinking.
None of us, everybody has done their part here. Everybody. So why do we have to keep talking about it? I just don't get it. I just think there's a lot of things that are going on around here that are being swept under the rug. One was a community post that I felt that was something that should have been addressed and should have been talked about. And I literally got screamed at for talking about it because I didn't talk about it the right way or the way somebody wanted it to be talked about on my own panel, because I didn't address it the way they wanted me to address it, or I asked a question because somebody made a video. I'm tired of people dictating what we talk about around here and what's important and what's not. I might find something more important than that Mandy might. Mandy might find it important, but not big. But I might find it really triggering for me. And I'm sorry, that post was very triggering to me because I am a victim of domestic violence. I have told you guys this before. I went through it for 5 years. So for people that have never been in a domestic violence relationship to talk about a woman that has, you have no clue what happens to yourself from being in a domestic violence relationship.
Sometimes you don't sometimes you're not, if you haven't been in one and, look, getting abused like that over and over and over again, I could see why someone would feel like they just want to die.
Right. And it's not even,
if you're carrying a baby, you feel like your life might be better off not on this planet at all than to go through any more abuse. And I think that's what she meant when she said what she did that people are using against her now. And I don't like that. And I know she doesn't like this being talked about. So I really don't want to say too much more about it. But I found that to be not
exactly.
okay either.
And I just didn't find it okay. And unless you've ever walked in a woman's shoes that has been in domestic violence, you don't have the right to say what she said just because she said it. It doesn't mean you can use it as a weapon. I just had a hard time with that. I just did at the current time. Oh, I didn't see what you said. Let me see. And I don't want to hammer on that because it's done and it's over with.
Right.
And that's one thing that I don't do. I don't hammer on things and talk about them over and over and over and over and over and over again. I address it and I move on. And that's it, you know? But
Yeah.
I'm just tired of seeing all this real life stuff happen.
I mean,
And
this is the reason why I turned my memberships off. You know, for those of you that were members for me, this is why I turned it off, because this is the only thing that people really give a crap about right now is who's got the next, bombshell that they're going to drop about Diane's identity. It was pointless for me to spend a bunch of time trying to put content together and be interactive with anybody, because anytime I had a live schedule, this live was going on, this one was popping up
Mhm.
next, that one was happening. Was Diane going live or was she not? So I was like, screw it, this is pointless.
Right. Yeah.
And it gave me a really big realization that as much as people wanted to move along or move on in this community, that nobody really did. We're all still stagnant in the same place.
And that's very true, Mandy, because I have seen tons of people everywhere saying they're just done and they want to move forward and they want to move on, and they want a place to go where it's not always drama and screaming and all that. But you're right. We want that in one hand, but at the same time, none of us do anything to change it. None of us. We're all still in those chats. We're still participating in those chats. We're still talking about it when we get together. I
Mhm.
just I totally agree with that statement, Mandy.
And
Totally.
that's okay. I'm not going to try
Yep.
to control
No.
the community's, narrative or interest or whatever. It was just a realization for me
Yep.
as someone who was spending my free time trying to create content that didn't revolve around any kind of drama at all, that it opened my eyes and it made me realize that drama's always going to be the thing, whether you're for the topic or against it, for the way that people are doing it or against it. This is it right now. Like 2021 is all going to be about Diane and St. Jude. That's it.
Well,
Buckle
hopefully
up, because it ain't going to change.
I wish it would. I'm hoping that St. Jude will come out with a verdict, I guess, so to speak, and we can move on, because I do not want to hear about Diane for this whole
Well,
year. No
that's
way.
kind of the point of why people need to spend their time if they want to help the actual real cause, by doing what that attorney told Brian St. John that he needed, because they are not going to come look for it themselves. They need to have enough evidence for a cause to be able to say, okay, we need to have this money because we're going to go after this person who took this much money from people and never gave it where it was intended. They have to
Mhm.
see it before they can move on. And, St. Jude also has private donators and stuff like that. And I do know that some of their private donations do go towards the legal department. I do know that from reading other cases about people that have stand in the name of St. Jude.
Right.
So,
Yep.
but they have to have that to be able to justify spending that money, because they're a nonprofit organization. Everything has to be written down. You need a new pencil, you got to write that down, because you have to account for where every single cent of a donation goes to.
Yeah. And I agree with Samara says, I don't want to be told whom and what I can talk about on a panel or in a chat. No, that was a one and only time. That will never happen again. Jennifer Lynn says it can all be done privately and not with 8-hour long live streams and 4 gazillion million videos. Absolutely. It doesn't. If you really are passionate about this scam, because like I could remember when the analyzer scam came out, and Mandy was
Yeah.
very involved in that. But she didn't give out much detail all the time. She gave out her email. People felt safe going to her,
I
didn't
had a
feel like
Google
everything.
number so
Yeah,
that
and it
people
didn't
could
feel
call
like
and tell me their story because they didn't want to email.
right. And they didn't have to worry that it was going to be played on the live at that time. You were trying to keep everybody safe or whatever. I just feel like, you obviously were passionate about it to pull this out. If you're if you're so passionate about it, I just feel like you should be doing something other than sitting on a live stream.
I had a case number for the victims to file underneath, complete with a contact with an email address and a phone number directly to the detective who I had contacted before I even
Mhm.
said anything.
And it's just like the video you did for Diane. You tried to simplify it for everybody. Like,
That's
here,
all I wanted
if
to
we want
do.
to get Diane to prove that she's scamming, here's what we do. You know? And you
Right,
did
because
it and you moved on.
she's not going to show you proof. So the only other recourse of action you have is doing exactly what Tiffany said. Call that number for St. Jude where you report possible fraud or scamming. Okay, and that's what I did. And when I called and talked to them, they hadn't heard about anything. And then I started sending emails, timestamps, screenshots. I sent my own proof that I gave money towards this cause for the donations. Right. I even tried to frame things like I asked people that day that I went live. I said, "What if Diane comes out and says, you know what, you're right. I didn't give the money all to St. Jude because I realized there was people in the community that needed help. So I took from the community pot and helped out with that." The consensus, still even at that point when I brought it up so early, was it didn't matter. They intended for their money to go where she said it was going to go. So I already asked everybody how they felt about this. And the
Mhm.
general consensus was they wanted their money to go where it was supposed to go, not back in the community, not to have a NARC guy come on panel, not for pallets, not for purses, not for gift cards, nothing. They wanted it to go to St. Jude.
Yep. Mhm. It's just, I don't know. I don't know. I just think that it's not about St. Jude anymore. I just don't. I think it's been that way for a while.
And that's fine. But you know what?
Mhm.
People should just say that then. And that's what I said on my live that day too, that I was, crucified for, was if this is all just, revenge because she has treated people dirty. If you weren't favorited by her, you were treated horribly. You were
Yes.
embarrassed, you were mocked, you
And
were
her
trolled.
behavior sucks. And that's the
Hmm.
other thing. I mean, it's her the way she has been talking to people when, you did these people that supported you and cared about you like complete shit. I'm sorry. I think her condescending, thinking, her rudeness, all of it is just
But that's a scammer when
horrible.
they get caught.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
arrogant.
Yeah.
They keep stringing people along so that they can still have people that buy into their nonsense. But the only way to curtail that is to get the stuff over to St. Jude because she really does live in this magical world of thinking that as long
Mhm.
as popular opinion stays on her side, she's untouchable.
Yep. Oh,
I mean,
she
y'all
was
got to
thinking the
realize that
same thing
about
I was.
scammers.
Yeah.
That's why I learned that with the whole analyzer thing. She still had supporters, and as long as she felt like she had supporters, I was the bad guy for calling it out.
Mhm.
Anybody that dared think that she didn't have cancer was a horrible human being. Well, guess
Yep.
what? I pushed enough buttons where she came out and told on herself. And once she did that, people woke up. And then they wanted to get in touch with me so that
I
they could
mean,
get in touch with the police and
yep.
all of that because I wasn't going to put that out publicly.
I mean, even her half-ass apology. I don't even think it's an apology. Whatever she came out with to admit, there was not 1 ounce of sorrow. I'm sorry. I don't think Diane feels bad that she hurt people that truly cared about her.
No
You know?
scammer ever feels bad about lying
No.
to people to get money. Like,
No.
go Google cases about scammers. They never feel bad for it. They only feel bad when they're put in handcuffs and their name is plastered all over the news and they have a mugshot out. That's when
And
they feel
that
bad.
Right. And that just shows the people that choose to support her. I don't understand that because how can all right, even if you don't believe she scammed them, just the way she acts for this. So why would you want I don't know. I don't know why you would want to support somebody that you watched all these people care about her and she doesn't even feel like she owes them an explanation, you know? I
Hmm.
just people that were her friends. longtime friends.
I
She
mean,
doesn't feel.
you don't get explanations out of people like that. You
No,
just don't. You
no.
don't get explanation. Listen, criminals, you don't get explanations or remorse out of them hardly ever. They double down. They don't want to lose their ego. You know, her super ego is way bigger than
Yeah,
than
yeah.
anything, and you can't knock her off that pedestal. As
No,
long as
no.
people are still going into her lives and still waiting on her when she has the time to say this or say that or deflect with this or that or the other, like, this is what she's waiting on, right? Because if anybody listened to what she said on Randy's, she said, "Oh, now I have something. Now, oh, I'll be live in a couple of days with a bombshell." Yeah, probably because Brian contacted that woman from the lawsuit. So now she's going to try to deflect with that. It's the same crap she tried to do when she messaged me about, "Did you give Sonia money for that bag I bought her?"
I know.
No, I offered because you were being hateful about it. I offered to just give the money, straight to you. So you shut up about giving her a gift. Like, what's that
Hmm.
matter? And I really think that when she did that day, because she DM'd me, she DM'd Puss in Boots, and I think that was what she was going to try to go live about and deflect and try to turn Sonia into some kind of scammer. Because if
Absolutely.
there is some new drama that she can,
And that was the other thing I
drum
didn't.
up, then
Right.
maybe everyone will get their eye off of what's going on now and look at this.
And
It's all
she named a
deflection. It's
lot of
smoke and
people
mirrors.
yesterday. When she went live yesterday, she named Sonia. She named a couple of people, and I was clueless what the hell she was talking about, bringing up Sonia. I don't know what Sonia has done to make Diane speak on her. I think Jennifer Lynn was another one she spoke on. There was a lot of people she spoke on.
Because
And
she was digging for a deflection. That's
yeah,
exactly how I felt when I woke up
that's how
that
I felt.
morning and had a hangout message from Diane, who swore she would never talk to me in private, ever, ever. I would never talk to Mandy Bell. But because you interpreted something that Sonia said, and I hadn't even seen Sonia's video, let alone
Yeah.
the description underneath this video. So I'm like, what the heck's going on? And I was like, wait a minute. I sent Trisha $20 for the wish list, to buy something off a wish list. Did Trisha send that to you for her to buy the purse? And she was like, no, Sonia's trying to sell the purse. And I was like, no, she's not. No, I offered to pay you back
No,
because you were
and
bitching about
Sonia,
giving
and
her a
that was
gift.
the thing. Sonia didn't even ask for it. Sonia just, TNT had brought it up, came out of left field. Sonia explained it, and then people were offering. It wasn't like Sonia asked or anything. And when they offered, she kindly didn't agree, said no, and Diane thought there was this whole big scam around this purse. Like, no.
No, Tiffany, no, nobody said that you're going real life and that a real PI
What?
should be investigating.
What?
Not at all.
No. No. Absolutely
Nope.
not.
I
No.
said that everybody should take their energy and do what the attorney asked Brian to do, to get people to do, which was go to her lives and give them the facts that they need so that they can proceed. That's all that was said about that.
Right. And the only thing that talked about real life is that I don't agree with the real life, but I don't even know about an investigator. What you're even talking about that?
Yeah, none of
No
us said
clue.
that a real PI needed to be investigating this. Not out
No.
of any one of our mouths. Maybe someone in the chat said it and we missed it, but no,
Yeah.
we didn't say that you need to step down and a real PI needs to get involved. And yes, of
No.
course, where would the funds come from? That's kind of my same point about saying, when I first went live and said, hey, I've got an email address. Contact me if you want it, so you can send your receipts or screenshots or
It's
screen
crazy
recordings.
how
And I was
people tricked
vilified
it.
for that idea. And then lo and behold, a month later, Brian calls the St. Jude attorney, and that's exactly what they want. But nobody's doing that. Everybody's spending more time digging into who's Diane, calling tenants, doing this, putting this up, putting that up. That was the only thing that was mentioned about how time could better be spent for the cause. That's it.
Right. Yeah.
It's an opinion.
That's it.
Everyone
But
has
yeah.
one.
And just that, I just don't think like looking people up or putting people's houses and all that crap, I don't think it's okay. And that's my opinion, and nobody's going to convince me otherwise. But as far as talking about you, no. No.
Yeah, no,
No.
Tiffany Marie, we all heard what the attorney said
Yeah,
to
we know
Brian,
about
which
the
was
attorney.
one point of contact to designate, and that person gathers all the receipts, screen recordings, links, timestamps, and then that one person that's designated to collect it then sends it off to them. That's what he said. It's out there, it's public.
Oh, we're talking about like Dave. We're not saying you, Tiffany. Like Dave putting out pictures of Diane's house and the address and all that. That's yeah. Dave
Yeah,
the
there's been
fisherman did.
several people
Several.
that
Yeah.
have put out who they assumed Diane was, and
And we just don't think it's gonna help the case by
her
people
identity
doing that.
doesn't matter. What should
Yeah.
matter more right now is everybody taking that energy and that web sleuth ability and
Mhm.
turning it into going to all of Diane's public lives and looking into it, screenshotting the super chats, getting the timestamps where she says, "Thank you for your donation to St. Jude," where she talks about all that kind of crap, putting it into a nice, neat little package and getting it over to whoever the designated contact is for that can contact the attorney. Because he even told Brian that their legal department is paid off of donations.
Right.
So the more help that they can get from people with facts
Mhm.
is the less money that's being spent in donations if they had to do it themselves.
Right. So we were basically just telling people that instead of taking your time to go real life and find out if, the true identity of Diane or pictures and all that, take the time
Contacting
to
tenants, like
right. People are calling tenants and all that. Spend that
people
time
were
getting
so afraid that these people were going to get swatted, but when y'all talked to them, they straight said nobody's bothered them. Like,
right.
and that's what I said. I said, and that's horrible because now it looks like the good side is the only side that's bothering these tenants at this address while everybody's running around going, well, what if they would have got swatted? But
Right.
nobody's bothered them except for the good side, and that doesn't look good.
Right. So we were basically
Tiffany,
saying
this shit happened to me. I know how it feels. I know how it feels to have every aspect of your life.
those people might deserve to know, but do they need? Does all of YouTube need to know? Why can't you make a personal phone call?
Nobody was bothering
Give them a
them.
heads up. Okay, if you wanted to do that, make a personal phone call. Give them heads up, but don't put it all over YouTube that you talk to them. Why do we all need to know that? If you feel like you needed to let them know to protect them, then keep it to yourself. Keep it between them and you. Not saying you did the call. I don't know. I don't know
There
who
was
did
a
the
great
call.
way to prove that Diane doesn't live at that address if y'all were really concerned about people reaching out to them, which was Doodle freaking gave out what Diane's IP address was, and then it went back to somewhere in Florida. And then you've got Jules that has the box from the Jeffree Star giveaway from a year ago that has a Florida address on it. So that right there could have been the two dots that y'all connected to say nobody bothered them. They are tenants because Diane's IP address has been out there. It matches the same, address or location that Jules has on a box from the Jeffree Star giveaway. Boom, done.
Mm-hmm.
Rationally, instead of contacting the people. Because now the good side is the only people that have bothered the tenants, just to be fair.
Mm-hmm. So that's all we're saying. That's it. Just that I think more time should be spent, trying to get her. Because for me personally, in my opinion, I think I don't care who Diane is. I don't care what she looks like. I don't care any of that. I just don't. Am I going to support her ever again? No, I'm not. That's it. Done. Over. I just don't feel, I think if it is about the St. Jude and it is clarifying she's a scammer, then everybody needs to do the legwork for St. Jude to be able to find she's a scammer, and all the other stuff is not needed.
Right, because they have to justify what they're doing with their donations. Since they're a nonprofit organization, they have to justify why they're needing to spend the donation money or private donors' money on pursuing something legally. We have to give that to them so that they can justify it.
Yeah.
Because they don't have the money to spend time looking through stuff where we all already know where it's at, you know?
Oh, jeez.
And Tiffany
I
looks
don't know.
a leak.
Oh, does she? All right. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. Sorry, I wasn't looking at chat. There you go. Sorry, I wasn't looking at chat. Apparently, the address from the situation where the donations, more time should be spent collecting all of the money to that organization. I'm behind. Did she leave? I'm sorry, I wasn't even looking at chat, so I apologize. But the link's out there, Tiffany, if you want to take it.
I'm glad no one cares about I'm glad you don't care what it looks like, Tiffany, but all I'm saying is from my perspective, when everybody was cool with digging into my real life and contacting all these people off Facebook that didn't even know me, that ended
FOD,
up
you're
being
not
all
coming
for
up.
naught because I wasn't a scammer. I wasn't doing anything wrong, but everybody wanted to freaking put all this ignorant crap out there and run with it. Like even false criminal records of me that I was getting arrested for blue smurfing, which is manufacturing massive amounts of methamphetamines while I have kids in my home. Like, hello. And y'all wonder why I was getting
And you can
swatted.
have that opinion, but you can't knock us for having ours. See, that's the part that irritates me, is because if our opinion doesn't suit your opinion, it's wrong. That's not the way it should be. You can have your opinion. Nobody's saying you can't. Nobody's saying that, you shouldn't do this and you can't do this and you can't do that. Nobody's
Actually, I am
saying that.
saying you shouldn't be going real
Right.
life. Like
I
you
know
should
you
spend
shouldn't be
that
going real
spare
life,
time
but
going through Diane's stuff on her public lives to get it to the attorney, just like he asked in a recorded call that Brian made public.
right.
Like had he not made that call public, it wouldn't look as shady as it does to all the people that are saying that what y'all are doing doesn't make sense, because now there's a recorded call out with an attorney's own words.
Yep. So, I mean, just because you don't agree with my opinion doesn't make my opinion wrong. You might think digging into Diane's life is okay. You might think warning these people that they might get swatted is okay. I don't. And that's okay. I'm allowed to have those feelings.
Maybe St. Jude could have done that if this whole month was spent on getting them the facts to show how much money was made, and not an estimate, a guesstimate, a this, that, or the other. Actual facts that they can see legitimately on paper to their email from these things with timestamps, along with screenshots, whatever. Then maybe, you could have told the attorney, hey, these people live in this house. I'm afraid for their safety. Can you give them a heads up? They would have done that. And nobody else had to.
I'm just tired of constantly being told how I should feel, what I should think, and that because I feel this way or I think that way, it's wrong. I'm tired of it. And I'm not going to deal with it anymore. I'm not going to have somebody come up and tell me how to run my channel, what I should be talking about, what I shouldn't be talking about, how I am supposed to feel. I do it with respect. I do it calmly. I don't bash anybody. I don't put anybody down. I sit here and I tell you how I feel, how I see it. And if you don't like it, I'm sorry, but that's how I feel. You might not agree with it, and it's okay. We're not supposed to always agree. But you're not going to come up here and tell me that I'm wrong for feeling the way I do. No, real life should not be happening. These people's lives shouldn't be involved in YouTube.
Right.
You might
and
do it
I actually
differently. I
had
don't.
lots of people digging into my information and passing it around behind the scenes, which turned into emails being sent to my police department, police calls being made, SWAT calls being made while I was live, just chilling, doing nothing wrong. So it would be bad of me to sit around and go, well, they have their reasons, so it's okay, because it wasn't okay when it happened to me. Did I always do the right thing in return in response? No. No, I didn't.
Right.
But I thought everybody wanted people to be better. I was shunned. I was ostracized. I was shit talked. Everything for the way that I handled how people were digging into my life and the lies that were being told about me. And some of the actions that I did, no, they weren't right. They were totally against my baseline morals and values and beliefs. Trust me, I am embarrassed by myself. Many
Right.
times, more than anybody in this community could get mad at me for, I have beat myself up worse.
But until you're in somebody's shoes,
But everybody's
you know,
doing this
right?
now, and now it's okay as long as you're on the right side of the fence. Like, it's
Right.
no,
You're
it's
right.
not okay, because when I was doing it back to people by using public things that were out, public things on someone else's channel, then now the person that I kept trying to reach in the entire community that I kept trying to say, I am not responsible for you getting trolled or your information being out there and people knowing about your life because it's been on a damn channel public for 2 years. Now they finally got it.
Right. Hey, Keith, do you
Yeah,
have
what's up,
anything?
Jimmy?
Do you have anything to add?
Wow. Damn, man. This whole situation is just nuts right here. I guess at the end of the day, it's just once you're on the other side of it all, it's like doesn't feel real good, And
Because Keith, you're not really on. I mean, because you're not really on a side. You pretty much go everywhere, right, Keith? You pretty much get
yeah,
along with everybody. You don't. Nobody makes you choose or anything. So
He sits
you're
up on
a
panels so that everybody calms down because they respect him so much. They don't want to
right.
act like they don't want to act like crazy
You
people. Like,
know
oh, Keith's on my panel. I can't
exactly.
do
But
that to him. He's such a
he
respectable person.
right. But he is one that that he can go everywhere. Everybody likes him. And that's hard to do around here. It really is. But Keith, you pull it off and you are very respected. So what are
Yeah.
your thoughts on the real life stuff? I mean, honestly, like, what are your thoughts on it? Do you think that it's good sometimes? It shouldn't happen at all? What are your thoughts?
man. Honestly, it's like if the real life stuff gets mixed up with the YouTube things, it's just gonna make it even more complicated. And things, some people want to try to bring out, that real life stuff and try to use it against you in a way,
Hmm.
which doesn't look too good. And you want to try to find a way to fix it. Basically,
Right.
it's like real life, and this is real life, and there's YouTube life. If they both get involved together, it's just gonna create chaos, controversy. People don't want to be a part of that. And then people do be a part of that. They want to try to figure a way to get out. And it's just like, how do you do that, without being ostracized by the entire community?
Right.
That's the main question right there, basically.
It
You know,
really is. Because, Tiffany kind of commented on, well, they should know. Well, who are you? Like, who are we to dictate what people should know and not know? I don't know. I don't think I don't know. I just think if you felt like they needed to know, all of us YouTube people didn't need to know. If you felt like you needed to contact these people, then all power to you, but we didn't need to know about it.
Well,
Because
I mean,
now people are going to know these people, oh, what's this address? Oh, they haven't been bothered yet. So now let's start bothering them because it's out. Do you get what I'm saying?
well, and then on that case too. So they hadn't been contacted. Nobody had bothered them, right?
Right.
And the way that it was presented this morning was, we had to let them know that they could be in danger. I would never want to call a complete stranger and make them so paranoid that they're scared
I agree.
to be in their home.
I agree.
Because
Totally
there
agree.
were so many times
sure.
that crap happened to me where people would make up an email address and reach out to me on email when I had my Majestically Mandy email. That's why I totally deleted that entire account. It's gone. Because I was like, this is a horrible idea, because people would reach out to me in an email and say, so-and-so saying this, they're planning this, they're going to do this to you. It made me paranoid as hell, which made me angry. And I did come back and attack people because I felt like being defensive and that was my best offense. to protect my family, when in all actuality, I just look like a crazy moron.
Hmm.
And I'm
Yeah.
embarrassed. I'm embarrassed that I allowed people, even a way to contact me, to put that fear, instill that fear into me that I was in danger, or my kids were in danger, or my husband was.
Absolutely. And that's why I said until you are in those shoes, you don't know how it feels. But when you have complete strangers, you don't even know if they're following you in the grocery store, to be honest. And you're getting told people are watching your house, people are doing this. It's going to make you paranoid. It is. And Diane leading this entire community to believe that she lived at that address could get those people hurt. Letting people on YouTube be aware keeps them from going and staking out the house. But that could go a different direction too, Tiffany. It could go totally different because we have other people that are going to
That's
take
not
them
true.
and
That's not
be
true. Pam from the porch even told Tiffany on Molly Golightly's panel today. We all have heard it for years that that's a rental property.
mm-hmm. Yep.
So what do you mean?
Everybody knew it was a
I
rental
even heard
property.
that it was a rental property. Now, was it true? I don't know. But if someone tells me, if you look me up and the address says that it's a rental property, I'm not going to
You
mess with it.
You can think it's ridiculous. You're by all means think it's ridiculous. I don't. I just don't think if you wanted to call them, then call them. But we don't need to hear about it because, just like you said, oh, that's going to tell people to leave them alone. But it's also going to tell people that like to cause this stuff, oh, they haven't been messed with yet. Let's mess with them. You have to look at both sides. And I don't know. I just think it should be about St. Jude, not who the
I
fuck
have an
Diane is.
idea. If they are in so much danger and it's escalating, call the police department and give them
Mhm.
actual proof that things are escalating so bad that a resident at that address could be in danger, and let the police take over from there. Because if that's what it's all about, then you're doing the right thing and you have nothing to worry about.
You're not going to call the cops, but you'll call a complete stranger? How does that make sense? I'm not calling the cops, but
That's
you
like
don't have a
witnessing someone
problem
being
calling a
carjacked.
complete stranger. A
That's like
complete
witnessing
stranger, you don't
someone
have a
being
problem.
carjacked and saying, I'm not going to call the cops, but I'm going to pull this license plate up. I'm going to have someone pull this license plate number up, and I'm going to try to contact their mom or their dad or someone, but I'm not going to call the cops when I see a crime.
We
Are you
are
kidding
not
me?
taking away what. Oh my God, Tiffany, please. Now you're going to say, okay, we'll pat you on the back again. Yes, you've done a good job. We've talked about this. Yes, you did great with the St. Jude stuff, but you guys are moving away from that. Now it's about looking up Diane, seeing where she lives, who she is. Sorry, that's our opinion and that's how we're seeing it. But nobody is taking away from all the good you did. Don't worry. You get to keep that crown. Oh, so tired of that. Oh, that means that, we're taking away from what's good. No. But all this real life shit should not be happening. You don't like my opinion? Okay, don't. Just like I don't like that you guys are going real life.
I'd rather let a police department know
Yep.
that a complete stranger to me could be in danger and provide them proof of why I feel that way so that they can be on the lookout for it. Or, hey, guess what? When they
Yep.
get a call, then they're going to be like, oh, yeah, remember these people and this is going on YouTube. So they might not show up guns a-blazing at someone's house.
Right. Call the cops and be like, look, this is going on and I don't know these people, but this is their address. Could you swing by and let them know? Oh, but now I'm not going to waste the cops' time.
Okay. Cool.
Why would I call the cops? Is this real life? Why would you call the people? Because you're going to call the people because you think they're going to be swatted, right? So why wouldn't you call the cops? And say, hey, I don't know these people, but I'm in fear that they're going to be swatted. By any chance, could you go over there and give them heads up? But you call complete strangers. I can't.
So now they're paranoid because y'all
Mhm.
assumed people were going to mess with them. So now you put complete strangers in this fear that any second now they could have cops storming the house or weirdos showing up after 2 years of multiple people calling Diane out for being a scammer, but no one wanted to listen and instead would, turn the fire on people that called it out. And that's multiple people. Multiple people. So
No, because we're having an opinion on something, Tiffany. Because we're having an opinion on something that happens to be about going real life instead of Diane. You're going to sit there and tell us we're taking away from what's really important. Hello, we all have the information. We know. Why do we have
y'all
to talk about it day
to
after day after
y'all
day?
talk to
Yes,
tenants
we get it.
in a house. And y'all got
We
mad at
get
me
it.
because I shared a public live of Laura's where she doxed Hello Starlight, and I was vilified for being a real lifer and a doxer. But it's okay. Just call up complete strangers and give them a heads up and put a bunch of fear into them, and then tell everyone that they're thinking about coming on a panel and talking about this. Like, what?
Yeah, that's adding fuel to
The
the fire
cat's
right there.
meow. The way they
Got
called
the
and said right away they were in danger is so wrong. So, not
I mean,
highway.
shit. Corey even tried to tell Makeup Mobster that somebody's passing on her information. She goes to prove it because Makeup Mobster is like, prove it. And she's called a doxer, but we're doing the same thing in return. Come on. Yeah, sure, you didn't put it out publicly, but you've let everyone know what you did. Hi. It's still the same.
Oh my God. This is
It's
just
still the same.
ridiculous. Ridiculous. We're allowed to have our opinion. We're allowed. Okay, we're allowed to have our opinion. You don't have to agree with it. You can be mad. But it's our opinion. I don't think calling people
No,
that aren't
Pixie,
on
she said
YouTube.
that address that's a rental house, that there's tenants living in it. I have recordings of her saying that. She's still got lives up where she says people have been trying to dox me with that address. It's the same one.
Obviously, Jennifer Lynn, nobody is allowed to have an opinion.
It is it's totally taken out of context now. Because you know
Yes.
what?
Yeah.
When I said I got an email because it was my money too, because I actually gave quite a lot. Only one screenshot out of 7 did I put up on my community post. I gave that to St. Jude. I gave them 20 lives and timestamps and everything. I tallied it all up and sent it to the person that I talked to, where anybody could have had that email address. I just couldn't put it out publicly.
I mean,
And
you
I
can.
was wrong for that. I was
You
wrong,
can
but then to find
justify.
out that's what the attorney at St. Jude wants. But hey, let's call tenants instead and make lives out of it. Because
Right.
no one's doing anything to help attorneys at St. Jude that said to Brian they get paid from donations. No one's doing anything to help that out. It's more important to dig and look and see who's who and if she's really who she is. Like, why?
But if nobody was digging into her, I don't understand why people are digging into her. Who cares if Diane is Diane or not Diane? Who the hell cares? The whole purpose was that Diane was scamming from St. Jude. That's it. So stick to
Wait,
that.
hold on. She just said she told the tenants they were not in danger. But the whole purpose of contacting them was because they
Was
were
to
in
tell
danger.
them they might be in. I think we are. Because at first it was, I wanted to let them know because they might be in danger. Now you're saying you didn't tell the tenants that they might be in danger. Okay. So what did you call them for? To ask them if they live in Diane's rental apartment? I just don't think calling anybody. Nobody. But I gotta end this
I mean,
because
you know what? I guess if it ever happens to these people, like when it happens to them, it'll be a big issue. But because it's not happening to them right now, there's tons of excuses that can get made. But you know what? Whatever. Do your thing. Do your thing.
Right.
And at the end of the day, guess what? There's multiple people that have now been exposed to potential dangers, trying to figure out her identity, and people cheering it on, right? Cheering it on. Sending information to Marissa, for Marissa to send it to Dave, for Dave to do it for y'all. I mean, the screenshot, the text messages on a video are out there. Like, what the hell? And we're bad for saying something about it.
Right.
Okay.
But I'm not going to stop having an opinion about it. You want to do you. But I'm not going to stop having an opinion about it. And my opinion is not going to change. It's just not. But I have to, it's 5:00 here. I have to get my family fed.
Thanks
I don't
for
know
having
if
me.
you're.
I'm going to hop down.
Oh,
Bye.
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm about to dip
Love you,
out.
girl.
Hey, y'all
Alright.
take care, man.
All
At
right.
the end of the day, it's a learning experience for all of us. You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely, Keith. Thank you for coming up.
You're welcome. Y'all take
All
care.
right. You too. So I don't know how everybody took this totally wrong. Acted like we're attacking Tiffany or Molly Golightly. That none of that was that. We were talking in general about going real life. You can take it however you want to. I'm allowed to have my opinion, whether you like it or not, whether you think I'm deferring from what's at hand, whether you think that, all of that. We all know about Diane. We know about the scamming. There's nothing more to add. There's nothing. Everybody's involved that needs to be involved. But do I think people should be going real life? No. But you want to make it about you? You want to act like we were talking about you? Then by all means, have at it. But my opinion is not going to change, and I have the right to my opinion. Thank you, Samantha B. That was very nice of you. And I did it nicely, and that's it. Jenna Moon, thank you for standing up against going real life. Absolutely. Thank you, Cats Meow. Thank you so much. But I'm going to go tend to my family. Like I said, you don't want to agree with me? That's on you. Yeah, we're not telling you not to do it. I'm just saying I think it's wrong. That's it. I'm allowed to think that. So have a good night, guys. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you could hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down, either one, I like them both. I hope everybody stays healthy, stay happy, but most of all, stay you. And I will talk to you all soon. You did do it nicely. No verbal abuse or shouting. No putting someone down. No. I didn't put them down for if they decided to do that. I just think it's wrong. That's it. I'm not saying anything that they're wrong or pointing the finger at them and saying, how dare you? No, that's it. That's all I'm saying. So everybody have a good night. Talk to you all later. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for the super chats. I really appreciate it. Much love to all of you. I'll be live soon again. Thanks.